Hello and welcome to the very first RPM TV episode for 2015. It's become a bit of a tradition to use this opportunity as a preview of the motoring year, and this year is no different. But Spike, there's another reason why we have a reason to celebrate.
Indeed. Little did we know that when we started RPM TV back in 2007, we'd still be going strong 8 years later and celebrating our 300th episode on Supersport.
So we're going to kick off this show with a short retrospective with some of those highlights of all those 300 episodes before we get stuck into the meat of the program, which of course is our preview of the 2015 motoring year.
Sports cars are always popular on RPM TV, and the Audi R8 was no exception. Over the years, we've sampled most of the fast stuff from the likes of Ferrari, Maserati, Aston Martin, McLaren, Lamborghini and Porsche. Perhaps one of our most bizarre assignments over the past 7 years was witnessing the total destruction of scores of brand new Peugeots after extensive flood damage rendered them unsaleable. Rules are rules, but that didn't make seeing brand new cars being destroyed any easier. International motor shows are another firm favourite among RPM TV presenters and viewers alike. We visited Geneva, Paris and Frankfurt, among others, including our very own Joburg International Motor Show.
We've been behind the wheel of a long list of race, rally and cross-country racing machines over the years. Evan Hutchinson's V8-powered space frame impressed with both its speed and ability to soak up the rough stuff. Arguably the mainstay of the coverage on RPM TV, however, comprises road testing of current cars, including an increasing number of comparisons between direct competitors. After all, most of us end up having to choose from a short list of contenders at a specific price point, making comparisons particularly useful. And if you thought that RPM TV only drives fast, fancy and exotic cars, think again. Far more pertinent for everyday motorists are compact, affordable cars. With the buying down trend gathering momentum, we'll be featuring a lot more super minis in the future.
Having said that, don't forget that South Africa's great outdoors is the perfect playing field for big, go-anywhere SUVs. We drove our fair share of 4x4s during the past 7 years, but in terms of size and presence, the Hummer H3 was one of the more memorable all-terrainers tested. Of course, the brand is now out of business, and local production of the big GM SUV is no more. Convertibles are popular in sunny South Africa, and the Audi TT Ragtop was one of many open two-seaters tested. From the Ferrari California to the BMW 4 Series convertible, the Golf Cabriolet and even the little Fiat 500 convertible, we've had a number of wind-in-the-hair motoring experiences.
RPM TV has covered a long list of automotive events since 2007, with the Land Rover G4 Challenge perhaps among the most memorable. South Africa was one of the hosts of the event, and South African Martin Dreyer was one of the overall winners. The Ford Ranger Odyssey is another adventure event on our coverage list. As for driving routes, our favourite location remains Mpumalanga, especially when a Porsche 911 GT3 is our steed.
Not a very indulgent retrospective, but it is pretty difficult to fit 300 episodes into just 3 minutes. We hope you enjoyed that look back at some of RPM TV's more memorable moments.
But now it's time for the main part of the show, in which we preview some of the new models and the new technologies we can expect during 2015. And we're starting off on a high note with some of the hottest wheels we can expect. For all its futuristic concept car-like looks, the new BMW i8 is a production sports car linking electric power and an internal combustion engine to high-tech carbon fiber underpinnings. Light, low and highly advanced, it arrives in South Africa in February and will change the way people think about hybrid cars forever. Replacing the SLS, the new Mercedes-Benz AMG GT looks lighter, wieldier and more dynamic than its illustrious predecessor. A 340 kilowatt 4-litre V8 makes sure the dramatic styling is matched to equally dramatic dynamics. It should be in showrooms later this year. The Porsche 918 is not a supercar, but a hypercar in both performance and technology terms. The plug-in hybrid drivetrain, extreme weight-saving measures and eye-catching styling make for a compelling package. Worldwide demand means supply to South Africans will be extremely limited though.
One of this year's mainstream motoring trends will be the rise of the Super Mini, and one of that segment's stars is likely to be the Volkswagen Up. Offered here in 3-door form only, the Up is a thoroughly modern, agile and economical city car that should cost less than the Polo Vivo. It'll be interesting to see how South African motorists respond to the little newcomer when it arrives here in March. Another ultra-compact arriving very shortly, this week in fact, is the all-new Suzuki Celerio, which replaces the Alto. Suzuki claims that the Celerio's big bonus is an extra-large interior and generous luggage compartment, while the 1-litre engine promises decent zip and economy. Now sharing its underpinnings with the Renault Twingo, the Smart 4 will arrive in South Africa late this year. It promises to be a far better car than its predecessor in both dynamic and refinement terms, and the look is more streamlined too.
The arrival of the new Corsa in February will be a major shot in the arm for German automaker Opel. The brand desperately needs a decent volume seller, and the Corsa's fresh looks, revitalized chassis and more efficient engines should attract plenty of sales interest. One of Hyundai's top sellers in South Africa is the i20 subcompact hatchback, and that tradition should continue with the all-new version due locally in the first quarter. The new car's styling is bolder and more dramatic than the current understated model, while the interior treatment is slicker and more tactile too. The drivetrain choices should remain similar. The little Mazda 2 has lost out to its Fiesta stablemate for some time now, but with Mazda becoming independent, the new Mazda 2 exudes style and a youthful appeal and no longer shares parts with Ford. European markets get a 1500 petrol and a turbo diesel engine, but local spec isn't confirmed yet.
It was crowned last year's European Car of the Year, but the all-new Peugeot 308 only arrives locally in March. The newcomer looks more chunky and upmarket, with loads of fine detailing and keen lines. Inside, comfort and safety are both well catered for, while a stretched wheelbase provides more interior space. Both petrol and diesel power plants should be on offer. Another early arrival is the new Honda Jazz, launched in Cape Town this week. Edgier and more assertive in styling terms, the newcomer also benefits from improved interior packaging. An all-petrol engine lineup comprise a 1.2-litre and 1.5-litre engine. The Audi A1 gets its midlife cycle upgrade this year, combining tweaked cosmetics with more fuel-efficient engines. The grille detailing is new and the interior is smarter too. The model lineup should remain unchanged, with the Quicksilver S1 the only addition.
Mercedes-Benz has finally jumped on the SUV coupe bandwagon with a vehicle that, unsurprisingly, looks very much like the BMW X6. Based on the upcoming GLE class, which will replace the ML, the sportier GLE coupe should get here by June. Power will come from V6 turbo petrol and turbo diesel engines. Audi's D-segment cars, the A6 and the A7, are due for an upgrade, and it's likely that the local A6 range will now include an all-road version following the success of the smaller A4 all-road. Sharper looks, higher spec levels and revised engines are on the cards across the range, which debuts late in the first half of the year. Volvo has always been considered an estate car specialist, and that's certainly true of the sleek V60. For outdoor fans, there will soon be a more rugged cross-country version, complete with raised ground clearance and enhanced traction. It should arrive in South Africa in October. The much-hyped replacement of the Land Rover Freelander is the Discovery Sport, a vehicle that's more rugged than the lifestyle-fixated Evoque, but less technically complex than the full-house 4x4 Discovery. Petrol and diesel engines are on the cards, mostly shared with Jaguar's upcoming XE compact sedan.
Crossovers like the Discovery Sport and the Mercedes-Benz GLE are good examples of a motoring landscape that is changing rapidly, with the traditional segments being replaced by new niches and multi-talented machines. Join us after the break for part 2 of our 2015 motoring preview.